Welcome to MISD Assessments Training on Test Security for the 2019-20 school year, presented by the Mansfield ISD Department of Assessment and Accountability. This video is designed for campus principals in the Mansfield ISD as an overview on test security requirements for state assessments. This video will last approximately 15 minutes. The 2019-20 school year brings a few key enhancements, but the fundamental aspects of test security remain consistent with previous years. All test booklets will have a form number. The online DCCR has been revised with a more friendly user organization and is much easier to print on demand. Oaths have also been updated. TELPAS manuals for raters will be online only, and TELPAS test administrator manuals will be online and printed. The TELPAS Training Center has been upgraded to maintain training certificates from year to year. Several updates to state testing came from recently passed legislation for your awareness. House Bill 1244 will change the STAR U.S. History EOC to include questions from the naturalization test in the 2020-2021 school year. Senate Bill 213 extended the graduation provision effective immediately. House Bill 3906 has banned the first instructional day of the week to be used as a state testing day effective immediately. In the coming year, we will see multi-part assessments over more than one day piloted with limits on multiple choice questions. Writing and reading tests will be combined in 2021-2022 for a new look. TEA is in consultation with the State Board of Education to develop a transition plan to administer assessments electronically in the 2022-2023 school year. We'll know more about this plan next year. Federal requirements for some changes to substitute assessments. Accountability will no longer include substitute assessments. STAR EOC substitute assessments are being amended to require a student to take an EOC assessment at least once before allowing substitutions for graduation requirements. There are no policy changes on testing requirements for accelerated students. For the fifth year, ETS will manage the delivery of STAR, and Pearson will manage the delivery of TELPAS and STAR Alternate 2 with their second year of the TELPAS Alternate test. The basics of test security fundamental concerns and core areas surrounding all of these tests are listed. TEA requires security of test materials for the same basic reason a teacher protects his or her own testing content, to protect the integrity of the assessment system and process. Additionally, TEA requires school officials to maintain protocols of confidentiality, both of test content and student results, to maintain their validity. These principles apply to state assessments just as they do to an individual teacher's activities in the classroom. Additionally, student data must be handled with the same security protocols as test materials and content. Remember, principals, you must have an oath on file. Now to test irregularities. First, remember that serious irregularities involve an intentional breach of test security principles. Simply put, these should never occur, but it is possible that a staff member might choose poorly. Obviously, campus-level training should encourage staff to choose wisely and address the basic consequence of a poor choice, just as the General Oath and Test Administrator manuals do. Most irregularities are procedural in nature, involving an unintentional mistake in one of the areas listed. These should also not occur, but people sometimes make mistakes. The best method for preventing those mistakes is, of course, proper training. The documentation process should begin as soon as a potential issue is identified. So our expectation is therefore that each campus provides thorough training and support to staff so that everyone knows what they must, should, can, and cannot do. The documentation process should begin as soon as the potential issue is identified. If an incident does occur, it needs to be addressed as soon as possible, even if it may turn out to be minor or nothing at all. Your first step is always to contact our office as soon as you know there's a problem. We will then proceed as necessary. If a campus incident is indeed a testing irregularity and should be reported to TEA, we will file the report after gathering all appropriate information. And our expectation, like TEA's, is that the campus takes steps to resolve it in the present and prevent it in the future. The penalties for test violations are listed on this slide. One addition to the list is the item with the blue arrow, lowering accreditation status or the accountability rating of the campus. TEA is taking a strong stand on serious violations at campuses, and staff should be aware of this. Incidents can change your rating. Moving on to security issues. Campuses must ensure proper test security is established prior to testing. Each campus will maintain a specific secure area for the storage of test materials, with access limited to only a few individuals. Anything accessible with a master key or multiple room keys is insufficient. When materials arrive prior to the given administration, CTC should verify that the shipment is complete and ensure that all secure materials are moved and stored appropriately. Campuses also should confirm that all documentation regarding individual student accommodations and supports is current and accurate. Campuses must address logistics for testing. This includes preparing required documentation, ensuring each space used for testing is appropriately configured to minimize distractions and eliminate unfair advantages, and planning for emergency situations, such as a fire alarm or a power outage. Most importantly, teachers and staff must be trained each year on their own responsibilities related to handling of test materials and administration of testing. Each staff member who may be involved in testing must sign an oath of test security and confidentiality, acknowledging that he or she understands and accepts a responsibility for his or her role. The oath is valid for all testing during the 2019-20 school year and now includes direct mention of active monitoring. While students are testing, the adult serving as test administrator bears several responsibilities, including distributing materials properly, completing required documentation, and confirming that student data on answer documents is complete. Most importantly, every test administrator is responsible for actively monitoring the activity in the room, ensuring that students are staying on task, working independently, and marking answers on the answer document. Teachers who actively monitor have the best track record at preventing problems. Teachers who don't actively monitor tend to create problems. Awareness of student activity in the room is fundamental to classroom management at every grade level, and that's no different on state assessment days. Timing restrictions for STAR remain the same as in previous years. Students are still allotted 4 hours for all STAR tests, the only exceptions being English 1 and English 2 EOC, which allow 5 hours for testing. Students may finish in less time, particularly in earlier grades, but every student is still allowed up to 4 hours to complete STAR. Test administrators should periodically inform students of time remaining and should record the clock time for the beginning and end of testing on the seating chart. Remember, timing does not stop for student-initiated breaks. It only stops if an event affects all students or if a student requires medical attention. As for TEA's rules concerning the confidentiality of test content, it is imperative for campus staff to understand that test content is intended for students' eyes only, and answers are to be completed by students only. Furthermore, students are required to avoid discussing test content or taking notes over test content. And certainly no teacher should ever look inside a test book or even ask students about any of the content on the STAR test. In some specific situations, TEA allows photocopying or viewing of test content by staff, but anyone authorized to do so is forbidden from sharing or revealing the content. Different testing modes also create concerns that impact test security. For paper testing, campuses must account for every student, accurately code answer documents, destroy certain papers, and ensure that it accounts for and returns every test booklet that was delivered. For online testing, campuses must ensure that the most current ETS browser is installed and used on every computer in which a student tests, manages the student test tickets with access codes to test content, addresses technical issues, and also destroys certain papers. Also remember that TEA requires seating charts for all rooms in which testing occurs, whether paper or online format. Documentation related to test security, including materials control forms and seating charts, must be completed accurately. The materials control form is designed to track movements of secure materials to and from the secure storage area. When a test administrator accepts materials for a testing location, he or she takes responsibility for each book and answer document. If secure materials are lost, stolen, altered, damaged after the staff member accepts them, that staff member assumes the liability. So he or she must follow the protocols established in security training. Test administration seating charts are required for every room, whether on paper or online, and every seating chart must include the name of every test administrator who monitored the room and the start and stop time for the room. All of these documents should be kept in campus state assessment files for 5 years. As in the past, MISD assessment will provide a form by which each campus will document its test security procedures. Our office will ask for only one test security documentation form for the 2019-20 school year, unless any procedures change from a primary administration to a retest administration. TEA takes test security seriously, so they include a wealth of resources at the URL indicated at the top of this frame to help districts and campuses to that end. TEA is currently revising the Test Security Supplement, and they also refer administrators to the Security section of the DCCR, which presents additional guidance and recommendations to assist in smooth, error-free test administration. MISD Assessments resources on Google Drive will also contain the Test Security Supplement, training presentations, and other items for your benefit. Remember, every testing season, MISD Assessment aims to provide guidance and support to you, so feel free to contact us if you have questions. We'll do our best to provide the most up-to-date information available regarding STAR testing. Thanks for watching.